Okay, so now that the jitters are out of the way, I'm gonna break down week one and what happened because I've gone through the intro and week one, and I've done a bunch of the morning pages. But I'm kind of like procrastinating on the rest of the book because I feel like I want to document this whole process, but I'm also like deeply terrified of what's gonna happen. Anyways, week one is recovering a sense of safety, and it talks about this thing that really caught my attention called shadow artists, which basically a lot of artists aren't really like given the right encouragement that they need to kind of grow and kind of be like pushed into their artist career. So there's this thing called shadow artists, which is timid young artists adding parental fears to their own, often give up their sunny dreams of artistic careers, settling into the twilight world of could have beens and regrets. They're caught between the dream of action and the fear of failure. Shadow artists are born. So it gives an example of someone who was very gifted in art. Um, he was a he had an art collection, and his parents kind of like put him into the stock exchange. Um, and ever since then, he's just been in that, and he just never got to like fulfill his dreams. Um, it says he would love to be more creative, but believes that that is the prerogative of others, nothing he can aspire to for himself. He was raised to believe that the term artist could not apply to him. He could not make the same gift for himself. And then it said, this is not an isolated case. All too often, the artistic urges of the artist child are ignored or suppressed. Mine was suppressed by my mother. I have a very interesting relationship with her. Um, but basically, there's kind of like societal pressures, like art won't pay the electric bill, and as a result, the child is encouraged to consider art. Oh, if the child is to consider art and job turns at all, he must do it sensibly, which is how I feel I'm kind of doing art right now. Like, I'm doing it very sensibly. Like, I'm working a normal job, I'm just making a candle here and there. Like, I'm not like jumping into it, which is like sometimes I wish I would just make the jump. But then sometimes I'm like, well, I'm safe. I'm handling myself. I don't know. Um, but basically, too intimidated to become artists themselves, very often too low in self worth to even recognize that they have an artistic dream, these people become shadow artists instead. Um, so basically, shadow artists are people that feel this artistic like pull and calling, but they're just like so scared to like own that power and claim that. And that's kind of like what I'm teetering on right now. Like I know that I'm an artist, but I'm kind of like I've worked in the service industry since I was 16 years old. I don't know anything else. Like I know how to make art, but like the idea that I can like survive off of my art and like be an artist deeply terrifies me. I honestly don't think I can do it. And like that's what I'm trying to get through with this book is to try to actually make the jump and be one of those people where it's like, no, you can do it. You just did it. Like why not me? But my brain tells me like, no, it's safer. Like the service industry is all you've ever known. You're just gonna be a server or waiter or whatever for the rest of your life. It's fine. I don't want to do that. I want to light people up. Like I want to make art that inspires people, that like brings people joy. Um, Artists love other artists. Shadow artists are gravitating to their rightful tribe, but cannot yet claim their birthright. Very often, audacity, not talent, makes one person an artist and another a shadow artist. Hiding in the shadows, afraid to step out and expose the dream to the light, fearful that it will disintegrate to the touch. That part almost made me cry. Because that's exactly how I feel. Like, I'm so afraid to step out into the light and just be an artist. Because I'm scared that it's going to disintegrate to the touch and it's just going to disappear and it's just going to fade into nothingness and I just failed so hard. Very real fear. Um, let's see. This says it takes nurturing to make an artist. In recovering from our creative blocks, it is necessary to go gently and slowly. What we are after here is the healing of old wounds, not the creation of new ones. No high jumping, please. Mistakes are necessary. Stumbles are normal. These are baby steps. We want to be great, immediately great, but that is not how recovery works. It is an awkward, tentative, and even embarrassing process. There will be many times when we won't look good to ourselves or to anyone else. We need to stop demanding that we do. It is impossible to get better and to look good at the same time. And then it talks about like your enemy within, core negative beliefs. And I highlighted the ones that I believe. I don't have good enough ideas. I will have to be alone. I will do bad work and not know, and I will look like a fool. I will never have any real money. I will only have one good piece of work in me. It's too late. If I haven't become a fully functioning artist yet, I never will. That one hurts a little bit because a part of me is like, oh, I've been artistic for a couple years now, like since 2022 or 2021 or something. And so part of me is like, girl, if it hasn't happened now, what are you doing? Give up. That's what my brain is saying, but it's just my core negative belief. It's just my enemy within that I need to throw hands with this enemy within because we're fighting. In other words, if being an artist seems too good to be true to you, you will devise a price tag for it that strikes you as unpayable. Hence, you remain blocked. And then it says, to become unblocked, we must recognize our either-or thinking. For example, I can either be financially successful or an artist. I do that. Like, I separate the two. I'm like, do I want to be financially okay or do I want to be an artist? But, like, why can't I put those two together? Why can't I thrive as an artist? Who's telling me that? Let's see. It talks about your sensor when you're like doing the morning pages. Okay, and then there's creative affirmations. And these are like the reverse of the enemy within. So my creativity heals myself and others. There is a divine plan of goodness for my work. As I listen to the creator within, I am led. I'm willing to experience my creative energy. I'm willing to use my creative talents. We're almost through week 1. Okay, so there's a little... So when it says the affirmations, it talks about... there's different like blurts that your brain kind of like the enemy within. So you have to dissolve it. So for example, if it says I, Fred, am untalented and phony, you might like switch it and be like I, Fred, am genuinely talented. That's what the book gives an example of. So I wrote a little blurt, and my blurt that comes to mind was, I'm not worthy or special enough to escape the service industry to live in abundance off of my art. Who do I think I am? I should just say super fit and healthy so I can stay there forever like I'm destined to do. And I flipped it. So the flip for me is, the universe is begging me, waiting impatiently for me to make the jump. Once I decide I can do it, the life I'll be provided will be more than beyond my wildest dreams, fulfilled on every level. Successful, happy, healthy, wealthy. The next little activity, it says to list 3 old companions of your creative self-worth. So I list 3 friends that have been like really, really, really just supportive and like helpful to my art career. So one of them is my friend Venus. She's always supporting my art and also was very excited about this like cherry top that I made, and she bought it from me and she like wore it out all the time, and just like I love how much she supports me even from afar. My friend Lily, she's been there for me through so much creative evolution. I made a purse for her, and her reaction to it was just like so wholesome and genuine, and she also is very understanding of my emotional boundaries with art and kind of how I function with it, and she's never like begged me or asked me to like make her something. Like I've made her stuff like from my own heart, but like I just really appreciate her respect for my boundaries. And then my current roommate, Zita, um, she has encouraged me in 2023 to go up to these artist friends that I made called the Rainbows. They live in Vancouver. Before I even lived here, she encouraged me to like go up to their booth and talk to them. And now I'm friends with them. And then now me and Zita are roommates. And she like gave me a pep talk about like how good I'm doing, and like it honestly made me cry. Um, yeah. And that is week one. And now I have to read the rest of the book and like continue this and share pain. But I'm excited. And not. I'm scared. I'm a lot of things, but we're gonna document it.